Hey, Tony here. Random Adventures 2.0. Where are we at and what are we doing? Well, where we're at, we're in a field. Actually, it's a parking area for Knoebels Grove amusement park. It's shut down right now until they're going to do the Christmas lights a little bit later. But it's been a while, and I wanted to show you my car, my Subaru, because when we did our travel across America, my goodness, it's been like 2 years. I had the car carrier on top. Well, I never showed you what was in the car carrier because I had moved everything down into the car. So I thought, well, why not a good time to show you this? Because I just got back from Colorado and Arizona. I made crossed 7 states in the last video, that one right there. Car camping at 3 different locations, and I love the way I've got the car set up now. So, well, let's take a look at it. This is a 2017 Subaru Outback. I think I've put roughly about I bought it when it was 78,000 miles on it, and I just hit 151, and it's running good. So I have not had any issues with this vehicle. At least you'll get a chance to figure out if it'll work for you. And here you have it. So this is my setup, and believe it or not, this is the way I get in and out of the vehicle. But maybe I'll start at the back, kind of work my way forward, kind of give you a really in-depth look at kind of what I have. Now, you may have stuff that you do differently, but this is mainly just to give you an idea of what I do. I've been doing this for about 2 years, car camping. Not every camp. I do a lot of hammock camping and stuff as well. Did my first tent camp the other day. But let's take a look. Let's start right here at the back first. Well, one of the first things you're going to notice is that I sleep on this side here, and we'll get to that. But I wanted to start with the power bank because this is pretty essential for me with having the refrigerator here. Now, this is an Alpha ESS. That is a 1,000 watt power bank, and the way it's charged is from the car. So when I drive, right here you've got the plug that runs over and into the car, because I've got a cigarette lighter right back there. So I just have this this is one of those things that go into your refrigerator. So in that's where I keep a lot of my knives and just a few tent spikes, Leatherman tool, just different things right there along the side of the power bank. And then this little cubby hole right back here where that cigarette lighter is, I just keep a dry bag with extra, just different miscellaneous things, but a lot of extra tent spikes and stuff. So that just gets rolled up and then stored right in the side here. And that's pretty much it for that little cubby hole. I'll put that back. And then along the side of the refrigerator, there is a gap that allows for extra storage. I just got to keep and make sure that I stay away from the vent on the front side, because that's, could cause your refrigerator to overheat. All right, so the next thing right behind the power bank is I have this BougeRV refrigerator. So I've got that full of food, and I keep that stocked up pretty good because you never know when you're gonna have to eat. All right, so that's there's a whole review on this refrigerator, and I do want to say that I did have a different refrigerator in the last video in here, and I've had this one in for about 2 weeks now, and it's been one of the best additions to the car. Very low energy to run this thing. It barely kicks on. It's got VIP, which stands for vacuum insulated panel. So I've had a Yeti before, and I'll tell you what, this thing outperforms a Yeti just by keeping the temperature all the time. It does have an LED light in it. Well, you'll see that in the review. All right, well, next thing, we've got our sleeping area right here. So I've got the just my top quilt on there right now, but right underneath of the top quilt, we've got a Thermarest mattress. It's all folded up in there. I'll show you that on the top. Insulated one. I do keep a cutting board right back here too. And this is a table. Now this is a Walmart table. It's black. I use it to slide it out. Well, let me slide it out real quick. It's a 20 by 40 inch table. And the reason I use this is, you know, when you put your seat down on this side, it kind of creates like an uneven spot, so your head's up in the air because it doesn't lay flat. This actually goes between that seam into the back of the car, fits perfectly. Now what I'll do sometimes is I'll just pull it out a little bit. Other times I'll go ahead and I'll drop the legs down. They are telescoping legs, so I'll put this out, I'll telescope it down, and then I can pull it out even more and then cook right off the back here. A lot of times I'm using the top of the Alpha ESS and cooking with my cook pot. All right, so let me slide this back in. All right, that's back in. Like I said, I do most of my cooking on top of the Alpha ESS, and this is just that non-skid stuff that you can get. I got this at Walmart also. I bought a big roll of it, and I've got it in several different places in the car, but I keep one right on top of this Alpha ESS. That way I can cook right on top of there or right here. So that's about what we do. All right, now on this side, I've got another one of those refrigerator clear containers, and in there I just keep, you know, salt, a coffee grinder. Now that's an electric coffee grinder that I can run off of the Alpha ESS, but I've got stuff like gloves for cooking and things, an extra lighter in there, just miscellaneous stuff, but I love my Redmond's real salt. So let's look in the back here. I'll show you where I keep a lot of storage now, which is just right behind the front seat. And you can see I've got it all put right in there. So this whole channel right here is where I've got a lot of different stuff. Now, like I said, I don't just do hammock camping or car camping. I do hammock camping, tent camping, all sorts of different kinds of camping. So I never know what kind of situation I'm going to be in, but that's where I keep a lot of my gear rather than in the car carrier now, because when you're doing car camping, you can't always park at, well, let's say you're going to stay at a truck stop or a Cracker Barrel or just somewhere on a street. You don't want to draw attention to yourself because if you're stealth camping or something. So that's one of the decisions that I made why I took the car carrier off of the top, and I've got everything that I need inside the car. The windows, I used to have window shades, the WeatherTech window shades the whole way around, but what I did is I tinted all the windows, and you can see that they're pretty dark looking at the car from the outside. I had a guy knocking on my window the other day, and he put his hands up to the window. He couldn't see in. It was in the morning. I was in the car, and I didn't answer him, but he walked away then. But he couldn't see me in the car. If I had window shades up, they would know that I was sleeping there. So I like it this way a lot better. So I've tinted all the windows down to 0 from the passenger back. And then the front, I just went lighter because I sleep from here on back. Nobody can see me. That's a good thing. So I do have the Thermarest blow-up pillow. That's the pillow I used, and you can see this is the Thermarest Base Camp inflatable mat that I've got there. And then one of the other things that I do is if I got a shirt that I kind of want to keep a little pressed, I got it right there. But I also put my mat right there just for a little extra cushion. But you can see I've got all my different cooking stuff and gear right behind both the driver and the passenger seat. We'll look over there here in a second. I think we'll do that next. But this is the side I sleep on. Yeah, plenty of room. I'm 5'8", just in case you're wondering. Oh, that's the other thing too. So right up here, what is that? Well, that's for the fairy lights up in the cargo net. So that's all the fairy lights that are hanging here. I just ran the wire, tucked it in along here, and then it runs down to a battery bank that I've got right there. This is just extra storage. That's a shovel, some other stuff, and then on the door I've got the remote right there for the fairy lights. So I keep that all there. I got a pair of gloves. So, I mean, all these little things, you're going to put in there what you want to put in. I'm just giving you an idea what I do. All right, let's get it closed up. You can see how dark the windows are. So I have the hatch open. There's light coming in on the back, but you can see the light coming in there. But when it's dark out, you can't see in there at all. All right, so let's look at this side. So this is the back on the driver's side, and you can see that's where I keep my 5-gallon water jug. That is a USB water pump, and so I just hit the button and it fills up my bottles. I do have a power bank so I can keep that nice and charged up, but you can see it's 5 gallons. Now what's in here? This is my shoes, my Crocs I keep in there. Wear them sometimes when I'm just around camp, and you've got an axe there, and like I said, just different cooking gear. Now I do used to keep this side up, and then would put some things on there. Now I keep underneath. That's just a little extra storage. This right down in between the 2 seats here, you got a little bit of extra storage. But I do have a very large cutting board. Why? Because I do a lot of steaks. And then I can put a backpack right here. Usually I do have it backpack, but that is my electric kettle for heating water up if I don't want to use one of the other forms of like gas and I just want to use electric. I'll use that. Just miscellaneous stuff I have in here. Here's in case I have a big fire pit or something like that, and I'll use this to cook meals on. That's just a bitty big cue, and then I've got another saw right here. All right, so on the back of the chair, this is probably the most important piece of gear, one of the most important ones I have here. So this is my electric cook pot. This just hangs off the back of the driver's seat, and I've got like a waffle maker right there. Got utensils around the front of it. This is for the kettle, a cord. This is a non-stick cook pan by Fire Maple. This is a big spatula. But that comes in very, very handy being right there. It gets a lot of stuff up out of the floor and the back of the car and gets it all stored really nice. And on the door here, you can see I've got extra food prep gloves as well. I do keep my trekking poles folded down and collapsed and keep it right along the side here. Well, that's from the driver's seat and the passenger seat back. The only thing we got to look at yet is the front of the car, and I keep that pretty open, front. Let's get the passenger side. So right now, if I was, out on the road, I would have my backpack with clothes in it and stuff like that all up in the passenger side. Now this backpack here, that's all my camera gear and stuff like that. Running up from the back, I do have, from the power bank, I do have 2 USBs to keep everything charged up, but I've got a snow scraper, ice scraper, usually keep a water. I generally don't have too much stuff up front here when I'm not camping and things, because my wife likes to sit on this side. So, yeah. But in the door, really nothing. I do have a tire pump under the driver's seat on the other side, so I do keep a tire pump over there, but usually just my water and things like that. I try to keep the front kind of open because the less stuff I have up front, the more hidden I can be. But that's really it. Now, like I said, yours is going to be different than mine because maybe you just do car camping. Well, that's my Subaru setup. It's my Subaru Outback. I'm loving it. Sound like McDonald's. All right, I'm loving it. But yes, there you go. If I change anything out down the road, I will make another video. But for now, I think this is the perfect setup for me and what I do, but you know, take a look at yours. I think the basics are sleep on the passenger side, put that down. You can either have the seat up or down on the driver's side in the back so that you can sit in there as well behind the driver's seat. But like I said, I was doing that for a while and just found it was just better, because when I find a spot, once I'm done eating and stuff and it's getting late, I just pop the hatch, crawl in the back, and then pop the hatch again, or close the hatch, and it just comes down and it closes, and I hang my keys up there on the paracord that goes between the handles. Well, watch a video, you'll see. Watch one of my car camping videos. There's a lot of them. There's a whole playlist. All right, well, for now, Tony 2.0, thanks for watching, out.